The law of conservation of mass states that option C, mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. Which scientist is credited with the formulating the law of conservation of mass? Option C, Antony Lavoisier. The law of conservation of mass is a fundamental principle in which scientific field? Option B, chemistry. According to the law of conservation of mass, in a chemical reaction, the total mass of the reactant. Option C remains constant. Which of the following is an example of the law of conservation of mass? Option A, burning wood in a fire. In a closed system, if chemical reactions occurs and no mass is lost or gained, what can be said about the law of conservation of mass? Option B, the law is upheld. The law of conservation of mass can be applied to which of the following systems? Option B, both open and closed systems. Which of the following statements is true regarding the law of conservation of mass? It applies to all chemical reactions. If a chemical reaction releases gas, what happens to the total mass of the system according to the law of conservation of mass? Option C, it remains constant. When a candle burns, the mass of wax. Option B, decreases. The law of conservation of mass is closely related to which other scientific principle? Option A, the law of conservation of energy. Which of the following is an example of a closed system? Option D, a sealed container. The law of conservation of mass is also known as option A, the law of conservation of matter. When a piece of wood is burned, the total mass of the product is option C, equal to the mass of the wood. In a chemical reaction, if the mass of product is 50 grams and mass of reactant is 30 grams, what can you conclude? Option C, mass has remained constant during the reaction. The law of conservation of mass applies to which of the following types of changes? Option C, both physical and chemical changes. Which of the following is an example of physical change that obeys the law of conservation of mass? Option A, boiling water. According to the law of conservation of mass, the mass of reactant in a chemical reaction is always option C, equal to the mass of products. When a solid dissolves in a liquid, the total mass of resulting solution is option C, equal to the mass of solid. The law of conservation of mass is based on fundamental concept. The law of matter conservation.